The village wakes up early in the mountains, before the sun fully stretches across the horizon. There's a quiet rhythm to the mornings here. The rooster gently breaking the silence, the distant roar of a few tractors rumbling to life, and the soft shuffle of feet on gravel as neighbors begin their day. Today, we begin the harvest. The mountains here are known for their grape harvests, the vines tended by hand the same way for generations. There are no machines to rush the work, only hands that know the rhythm of the land, seasoned by years of harvests under the same early light. But this is only the beginning. The transformation of the grapes is a slow art, one that depends on the sun, the earth, and time itself. Welcome to the grape harvest. This year, I'm following Yorgos and Vangelis, two seasoned hands in the village who have dedicated their lives in the art of grape growing. Hello everybody, it's now 8 a.m. and I'm going back home for a bit just so I can cook lunch, and I'm gonna go back to the grape harvest around 1 p.m. to help them load all the grapes on the truck. It was quite an early rise this morning, which is why my voice is a bit lower, and it's a glorious morning. Wow, look at this. Anyway, let's go. I wanted to whip up something quick for lunch, so I decided on Spanakopita. It's simple to make and always hits a spot. Meanwhile, out in the fields, Yorgos and Vangelis are hard at work. Yorgos has been tending to these vines for years, managing more than 9 fields throughout the village. He knows each grape variety and the nuances of each plot, ensuring the harvest is as bountiful as possible. Vangelis has been by his side for over 20 years, bringing his expertise and dedication to the work. Together, they make a strong team, tackling the demanding harvest season with efficiency and skill. The changing seasons signal a busy time in the village, especially in autumn. The grape harvest is later quickly followed by the olive harvest in November. It's a whirlwind of activity, and every hand is needed. Harvesting grapes requires hard work. Days stretch long, filled with bending, picking, and packing. It's physically demanding, but this labor is crucial for preserving our ways of life and ensuring a fruitful harvest. When the clock hits 1, I go to join them again, this time to load the truck with crates full of grapes. And off to the village we go. Drying raisins is an art form that's been lost in many places, but here it's still done the traditional way. Yorgos and Vangelis roll out a large net across the ground, ready for the next step. Carefully, we empty each crate of grapes onto the net, spreading them out so they'll dry evenly under the sun's warmth. The drying is a slow process, taking weeks of sun and patience. This is Corinthian grapes. It's so much sweeter, and you just get to eat it like a bulk like this because they're so small and they're all packed together. Best treat after a long day. It's incredible actually how 2 weeks ago you could hear crickets, and right now everything is so quiet. It definitely is the end of summer. Usually in Greece summer stretches a bit until October, and still will. The temperatures haven't dropped and we are yet to have seen some rain. But listen. It's so quiet. No birds, no crickets. It's a remarkable stillness. In order to begin, we first spray the freshly harvested grapes with a potassium water solution. This is a gentle mix of potassium carbonate dissolved in water. This serves several important functions. It helps the grape skin to soften slightly, allowing moisture to evaporate more effectively, which is essential to prevent any spoilage or mold during the process. A few days later, once one side of the grapes has dried up, we turn them to ensure an even, golden finish. The days blurred together, marked only by the rhythm of the harvest and the work required to ensure each grape dried evenly. Here we go again. It's a long, repetitive process, but one that demands consistency and patience. Once both sides of the grapes are fully dried, we begin the process of removing the stems. We gently press the grapes against the surface, allowing the stems to separate easily from the fruit. Yorgos then takes a rake and sifts through the grapes, ensuring that only the dried fruits remain. After this initial sorting, the raisins are packed into bags and transported to a machine designed to eliminate any leftover stems. In the past, this meticulous task was done by hand, but now a machine aids in this labor-intensive work, streamlining the process and making it more efficient. Beyond raisins, grapes also go into winemaking, while others are boiled down into petimesi, a traditional grape syrup. Each September, this cycle repeats. Grapes pressed for wine and then boiled down to make this rich, dark syrup that flavors so many local dishes. I showed the petimesi process last year, but it's a task that never loses its importance here. Every grape finds its purpose, whether in a bottle, a dish, or in the dried clusters that will be enjoyed throughout winter. So, after a few days of helping out on the drying plot, I decided to use the remaining of last year's petimesi and make some traditional Moustokouloura. Moustokouloura are traditional Greek biscuits, made primarily from moustos, the fresh must left over from winemaking, but they can also be made with petimesi. These biscuits are flavored with spices like cinnamon and have a soft, slightly chewy texture. I associate these biscuits with sunny afternoons at the beach, between a snorkeling session and building sandcastles with my friends. Much like the Madeleine de Proust, they evoke specific memories for me, transporting me back to simpler times when all that mattered was the joy of playing in the waves in the comfort of our childhood. Each bite of the biscuit, slightly salty from our wet hands, came with the occasional crunch of sand. Accidentally eating a bit of it as we laughed and enjoyed life by the sea, it was the perfect seaside snack. While this land could certainly use a good rain after such a dry summer, our current tusks may not benefit from it. Rain can change the color of the raisins, transforming their bright golden hue into a darker shade that is less marketable. September being unpredictable as always, we can never be too sure about when the next downpour will hit. So, while I finish baking the biscuits, Yorgos and Vangelis do their utmost to shield the raisins in anticipation of any rain. Thankfully, it didn't rain much, and it wasn't long before the sun set, and Yorgos and Vangelis came by for a quick beer and meze.
Πώς λεγότανε. Αυτό είναι κάτι μουστοκούλωρα που έφτιαξα εγώ, αλλά έχουν αρπάξει λίγο.
Δεν έχουν αρπάξει, σε ίσως έχουν γνωριστεί πάλι.
Μάλιστα.
Ο Ζηλερβεής η Αλβανία.
Χαίρετε.
Βοηθός μου, κατηγορούμε το προϊόν. Όταν δεν είναι στην εμφάνιση αυτό που πρέπει.
Yorgos surprised me with an amazing gift. A beautiful print of an old picture of our village taken by a photographer a century ago. By morning, the sun was back, casting its light over the valley. So I decided to take a break and head up into the mountains for a quiet picnic. The grape harvest season is steeped in history and folklore. One such tale is that of Ampelos, a young satyr loved by Dionysius, whose legacy lives on through the vines we tend to each year. Ampelos was spirited and wild, a symbol of nature's untamed vitality. One day, in a daring moment, he challenged the fates and attempted to ride a bull. But his boldness met with tragedy when he was thrown and trampled. Overcome with grief, Dionysius transformed his beloved Ampelos into the first grapevine, so that his spirit would live on, intertwined with the joy of the harvest and the essence of wine. Hello everybody, I don't know if you recognize this place, but I was here back in April and everything was green. Now everything's yellow, full of hay, and there's like 5 horses not too far away from me. Yeah, it's a very nice place to be. So I chilled for a bit and now it's time to go back, so I'll see you there. And just like that, the rest of September went by, tending to the raisins and meticulously turning them around once one side has dried up. Finally, we conclude a raisin adventure by packing the dried grapes into sturdy bags. The sweet, earthy aroma of the sun-dried fruits fills the air as we scoop the raisins from their drying nets. We fill each bag with care, ensuring they're packed tightly but not overly squished. With each bag prepared, we're ready to send these raisins off for processing, marking the end of this chapter in our grape harvest season.
These are raisins that Jorgo actually made, the ones we've been preparing. This is the first batch that's ready, and he prepared them for me in this little bag. He actually hand cleaned them one by one, whereas the rest is going to go into a machine to be hand cleaned, so he actually spent some time preparing this. And I'm going to seal it into this jar because I'm going to keep them for the winter, and if I open the bag and they get oxidized with the air, they might harden. Right now they're very, very soft and sweet, so I'm just going to make sure to conserve them properly.